The Recluse was the most unique and complex mage character I've ever seen. So, let's recreate her, shall we? Bolder than brass, sleeker than silk, more magical than moonlight. The Recluse is the second character from Nightreign that I'll be covering on this channel, and is perhaps the most challenging out of the four to recreate in base Elden Ring. But oh boy, do I love a challenge. In order to do her justice, we will need to acquire at least one spell from 4 of Elden Ring's major elements. That being fire, lightning, holy, and of course, magic. In Nightreign, the Recluse uses a sort of suction and wombo combo mechanic by combining these elements to create unique and specific spells to her. We call this a magic cocktail. Of course, in base Elden Ring we can't quite achieve this, but I'ma do my best. The next thing we will need is some sufficient mage attire that closely replicates her outfit as much as possible. After all, fashion is one of the most important aspects of Elden Ring, and goddamn, her design looks clean as hell. So, without further ado, let's begin, my fellow Nightfarers. First thing our Recluse has to do is the very thing a Recluse fears most: to socialize with fellow human beings. Wait, am I a Recluse? We talk with our fellow magic caster Ranni before making our way to the round table hold to be held. Hold to be held. It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it?
You are
very warm. The reason we talk to these two lovely ladies is because both of their excruciatingly long quest lines are necessary for one item we need. Yup, just one. While we're here, we also purchase a memory stone and a finger seal from the twin maidens, as we're gonna need access to as many sorceries and incantations as possible. Then, introduce ourselves to Brother Corrin and purchase from him both Catch Flame and Flame Sling to acquire one of our 4 elements, fire. And with that, the early setup is complete, and it's time for our Recluse to leave her hidey hole. Straight into one of the most magical areas in the game, Liurnia of the Lakes, where we've got a couple things we need to attend to. The very first is to travel to the artist's shack. No, not to admire the art, but to kindly request from this good sir whether or not we can borrow a book from him. He's unfortunately quite an angry fellow, and we end up having to take the book from him by force. Then, heading further northbound to the Church of Vows, we can find ourselves a rather large dog. Who we can chat with a little bit to upgrade our spell arsenal just a little bit more. we turn in the Dragon Kelp Prayer Book to purchase Lightning Spear, and additionally, Carrion Greatsword. Lightning Spear is an excellent long-range incantation and of course fulfills our lightning requirement, whereas Carrion Greatsword is just a big magic sword that goes bonk. One of my favorite spells for sure. Next stop, Carrier Manor, to meet up once more with my girl Rani. But before that, we head on over to one of these Puzzle Rise buildings to acquire yet another memory stone, because we are sure going to need a ton of these. Up the stairs, pick up the stone, and then waste no more time in heading on over to the manor. Before we get to flirt a little bit with Rani, we have to take on this rather annoying spectral horse lady. But this time, she's not just in the way, but there's actually something we can acquire from her. From Lady Loretta, my Recluse picks up the almighty Loretta's Great Bow, a most magical spell indeed. Onward to initiate Rani's questline, but to progress it any further, we must first defeat an opponent capable of halting the very stars, as befits General Raddahn, the Great Lion. But to get to Raddahn, we first gotta rest in Altus Plateau. And classic Elden Ring, there's always a million ways you can get distracted, and this time my distraction was in the form of acquiring a holy incantation, the only one we didn't have yet. Up the Grand Lift of Dectus and straight to the Minor Erdtree Church, where we can find the Golden Order Seal, a huge upgrade for us because it scales with both faith and intelligence, which are two stats we unfortunately have to split for this run. Bear in mind, this is by no means an optimized build and is honestly quite garbage. It's usually way better to go all out into one stat. Anywho, while we're still in Altus, we still need that holy spell. We speak once again with Brother Corrin, who asks us to help him find Gold Mask, which ain't so bad. I cross the teleporter on this bridge towards the Windmill Village, but we turn around and go to the end of the bridge to locate Gold Mask. Back to Corrin to tell him where he's hiding, and then boom, a wabba-dabba ding-dong, we find Corrin with him, who then gives us access to the beautiful Discus of Light. Wholly acquired. With an arsenal of spells worthy of a recluse, it's onto the festival, boys and girls. Not the kind of dingy festival you're used to, though. A festival with champions.
Incidentally, do you like a good festival from time to time?
Hell yeah, my brother.
Champions! Welcome! The stars have aligned. The festival is nigh. General Raddahn, mightiest demigod of the Shattering, awaits you. Champions, prepare for battle. Defeat the general, claim glory, and grab that great rune. A celebration of war! The Raddahn Festival! General Raddahn is there, even now, divested of his wits, devouring corpses, and howling at the sky. When the stars align, the festival will be declared.
For the uninitiated, it's necessary to kill Raddahn in order to progress both Ranni and Fia's questline. Why, you ask? Well, the only way to get the Fingerslayer blade for Ranni is from Nocron, the Eternal City. I'll never forget the feeling of coming down here and being completely wowed by an entire underground city on top of an already huge game. Anyway, we progress through Nocron to fight none other than myself, a fellow Recluse. Traveling a bit further forward through Nocron, we arrive at the ancestral site of grace and can hop off this ledge and head on down to acquire the Fingerslayer blade. Then, back to Ranni to trade the Fingerslayer blade for the Carrion inverted statue.
My thanks for thy sterling efforts.
You are most welcome, my sugar plum. Up until this point, my Recluse has been completely naked, but that's all about to change with the unlocking of Renna's Rise, meaning we can access the Snow Witch set. Definitely not my final look, but hey, at least we've got some clothes on now that a witch would actually wear. The whole reason we needed the Carrion inverted statue was to then take it to the Carrion study hall, place it down and give the building a switcheroodle-doo. And then, after progressing through the topsy-turvy building, we go through to the Divine Tower where we can pick up the Curse Mark of Death. Which is for Fia's questline, of course. Oh, we also go back and remove the statue to revert the building in order to go and pick up the Carrion Glintstone Staff, which enhances our sword sorceries. Certainly a nice upgrade. But now we can finally directly attend to Fia's quest, where Fia decides to make a rather dubious confession to us.
I lay with the remains of an exalted
Okay then. I suppose necrophilia just had to be in Elden Ring, didn't it? I mean, why not? Anyway, Fia gives us the Weather Dagger, an item that we can immediately give to D in the next room. For some reason, this action makes D spontaneously combust, and we find Fia lying next to his dead body. This quest is very strange, guys. I don't know what the is going on. If there are any lore experts here, please can you let me know what's going on in the comments. Thank you. If you think it's hard trying to control torrents sometimes, try controlling them with your camera unlocked, and you'll experience real pain. In order to progress Fia's quest, it's time to head for the Deeproot Depths, which is unfortunately locked behind one of the worst fights in the game. Ow! On arrival in the deep-root depths, we fought another excruciatingly shit fight against Fierce champions. Yikes. Honestly, duo Gargoyles into Fierce champs is just brutal, but luckily for me, I'm a recluse, and the only way to keep my solitude is to murder these fools and rid the world of all NPCs. Excellent. Now, to finish Fierce questline, you've got to do a very weird combo of being held repeatedly, talking to her in secret, and then resting at the site of grace for a weirdly unnecessary amount of times before touching Fear and going straight into her fever dream against the one and only Lich Dragon Fortissax. With Fortissax's defeat, we can pick up the Mending Rune of Death, which is necessary for the Duskborn ending. D somehow manages to revive himself and starts throwing insults at Fear, also saying some questionable things.
This is the wrath of D.
Ooh, gotta resist the urge. Ooh, the wrath of D's nuts. Got him. Anyway, finally, at long last, we gain access to Fear's set, which is legitimately the entire reason we did this quest. Gotta love Elden Ring. An additional bonus is we get to upgrade our spell arsenal with another incantation, Fortissax's Lightning Spear, which I have legitimately never used before, but it's actually pretty good. It does stupid damage and also raises you into the air so you can avoid attacks that can otherwise be jumped. A most welcome addition indeed. Now you'll notice that we've made our way to the Academy of Raya Lucaria, because the capital Leyndell is still locked until we've killed another Shardbearer. I chose Renala over Godric because, I mean, it's a magic-themed video, guys, so of course we gotta fight the magic lady, now don't we? Definitely wasn't because the Red Wolf gives us a memory stone. Wink wink.
Where did he flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide. There are books and light aplenty, dither not. Come out, say I, or will ye be gravestones, to be better born anew? My beloved, have no fear, I will hold thee. Patience, ye will be countless born, forever and ever. Mother's rich limber shall not be disturbed by thee. Foul trespasser, send word far and wide of the last queen of Caria, Renala of the full moon, and the majesty of the night she conjureth.
Now you'd think that we would get a cool new staff upgrade and moon spell from Renala, but they both require a whopping minimum of 60 intelligence. Yikes. Our victory doesn't come with 0 reward, however, as now we can make our way to the capital. I bet 99% of you didn't know that after defeating Fortissax, this teleporter takes you into Leyndell. I know I certainly didn't. Pretty convenient, as I believe that's the only way to get in without beating the Draconic Sentinel. Within Leyndell, there is also an essential item we need to have officially completed the Recluse set. Upon entering the replica of the Round Table Hold, we can acquire Elberic's set, but only for the hat. I also used this set in my previous Duchess video, but for totally different reasons, so go check it out. But now, my sights are laser focused on one enemy, a being of unrelenting honor and grace. Who else but King Morgoth, last of all kings.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? Willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings. Put these foolish ambitions to rest. The thrones, stained by my curse, such shame I cannot bear. May the curse seep to thy very soul. We are all forsaken.
We are all forsaken indeed. With Morgoth's defeat, it's onto the breathtaking Mountaintops of the Giants. Where lo and behold, there's a giant boss at the end of it. Who would have thought? Before facing my least favorite boss in the game, I head back to Limgrave to pick up this book that we can take back to my favorite doggo and trade it in for Carrion Slicer. A smaller magic sword, yet somehow 10 times deadlier. For those of you who don't know, Carrion Slicer can output some of the highest DPS in the game, and I wanted this fight to be over as soon as possible. Fire Giant only deserves 2 cinematic shots because I hate him so much. Can't believe people complain about Gaius when this guy exists. It's like they forgot. He does drop us something useful, however, in the form of a pretty interesting incantation, Burn, O Flame, which we add to our fire arsenal. Speaking of burning, O Flame, back to the forge where we say bye-bye to Melina and get swiftly transported to the crumbling Farum Azula for a dance among dragons.
Thou who approacheth destined death. Strange. There's something else. I will not have it stolen from me again. I must have more. I must consume more. Oh, death, become my blade once more. Henceforth, mine appetite shall be my sole companion. Mine appetite, my sin. tarnished, my thanks for thy long labor. Witness tarnished, why cover destined death? To kill what?
Now to me, a capital swallowed by ash seems like the perfect place for my recluse to be. Before annihilating Gideon, back to Enya to pick up our final holy incantation, Malekith's Black Blade. An insane percentage damage base spell, perfect for the final bosses who all have high HP, except Gideon of course. I spit on you! Onward and upward to a foe most worthy of fighting the recluse, unlike Gideon. Who else but Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold. Be assured the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Alas, I am returned to be granted audience once more. Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. That will be all. I've given thee courtesy enough. Now I fight as Horalu, warrior! Tarnished warrior, 'twas nobly fought. Brave, tarnished, thy strength befits a crown.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the final battle with Queen Marika and the Elden Beast. What a journey it's been for my recluse, and I'd like to talk about the build a little bit. It's complete garbage. Would not recommend for any optimization build, as the split stats between faith and intelligence just really wasn't working. I thought about acquiring the Staff of the Great Beyond for this run, but it would have just taken way too long, and I hadn't done a pure base game run for a while. The spells I'd most recommend were easily Carrion Slicer, Fortissax's Lightning Spear, and of course, Malekith's Black Blade. You can never go wrong with these. Lightning Spear is pretty good too. I'm also going to leave my stats on display at the end of the video, as people usually ask to see them. I really hope you guys enjoyed my take on the Recluse, and let me know which Nightfarer you'd like to see next on the channel. I'm thinking Wilder will be pretty fun to do. Remember guys, don't be a recluse like me, go outside and socialize, you gremlin. Right after you've watched my Duchess video, of course. Teehee. Until next time guys. As promised, here are the stats for the build. Check it out. It was pretty odd. I didn't get enough mind or health. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, my brothers.